tough culture, trauma, difficulty. Talk to us about that.
I love that question. And by no means are we where we want to be as yet. I think things have started to improve. We've come from a point where the staff morale was at an all-time low. That's reality. But I think one of the key things for turning that morale around, number one, is you need to support your staff. You need to empower them and give them that sense that they've got the support from you. Now, one of the key things that have assisted with this, if I can call it awakening at PRASA, is that we are now performing. You started to see things turning around. And it's amazing, once that happens, is you find that staff wants to see that happen. They don't want to be part of an organization that is failing. They want to be part of an organization that is succeeding. And I think with that success and those achievements, day by day, you find that morale is lifting.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing the things on the side through our HCM in terms of, making sure we've got the programs in place. I think one of the things that we've always had at PRASA, we're not there yet, is this issue of the culture change management. It's not an easy one.
Yeah.
By no means is that an easy process to run through. But I think key is if you can start demonstrating that things are turning around and the team is part of this process. I've just found, having gone around the country, engaging with the staff, the enthusiasm is back. People see things are moving. They want to be part of this journey. It's a good story to tell. And that on its own has lifted the spirits at PRASA.
Talk to us a little bit about what it's going to take to get from the 1 in 40-minute train to the 1 in 6-minute train that you wanted to get to ultimately in terms of frequency. And you mentioned one of the key impediments to that is your signaling system. What is entailed in getting a new signaling system in place? Can that be a locally designed business enabler? Is it technology as well as infrastructure that's involved in that? And beyond that, now that you've awakened your workforce, it seems like you also need to awaken your customers. How do you plan to do that, to actually get more trips every month, every year on the network?
Okay, so getting to higher frequency, and that is a priority on our side. And we want to get to the 1 in 5 5-minute frequency that you refer to. To get to that, we need to implement the signaling projects. That was one of the infrastructure projects that was badly affected by theft and vandalism, because you've got a lot of cabling and the infrastructure that we are dealing with. There are obviously aspects within a signaling project that you can localize, but the technology that it comes with is very specialized that one needs to deal with. We are rolling that out across the country. We're in already the procurement phase for some of these corridors, but some of them still have signaling left. And the one, just to give an example, is the one in Cape Town, the southern suburbs line, the one that you see going around the coast, a very beautiful line, takes you down to Simonstown. You've got all the restaurants there that you can jump on and off. We also partnered with SA Tourism, sand parks that you can take the train and into the parks free and so forth. So on that one, there are elements for localization. Unfortunately, this is also a project that you don't do in 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to take us 18 to 24 months to recover the signaling. This is the ability for the trains to communicate for safer operations. So what are we currently doing? Why we are only operating the 40-minute peak is because we're operating under manual authorization.
Yes.
Where we don't have signaling, we do manual authorization. And it is an accepted way of operating trains, but it's not ideal because it takes a lot longer. You allow one train in a section, the train driver needs to call the control center and get an authorization to move before the train can go through another section. So it takes time. So it's going to take us 18 to 24 months from the date of an award to get that up and running. And we'll have milestones as part of that 18-month program. So it will be part of a bigger program. Certain elements can be localized out of that. Some of these, what we put in this project is for companies to establish centers here as well when they come and work within South Africa. So some of the big companies already have local offices and so forth, and even some of their plants are here. Now, when it comes to the issue of the passenger numbers that you're referring to, how do we start increasing that? And what are we doing about awakening that side of things? Is particularly on our communication, and awareness programs. We've got quite an aggressive strategy around that. Colleagues in the room that hear me speak often will know I say this quite a bit, is that if you want to look at the health of PRASA, anybody, look at our passenger numbers. So the fact that we are transporting 40 million passengers per annum, we're not in very good health. That heartbeat is not as strong as it should be. We need to get up to the 400, 500 million passengers per annum. It even got to a point where we've had these debates. I said, besides the rail being so affordable, Abdullah, even in the off-peak, we've even introduced a 40% discount. Because we want to attract people to the trains. Even though it's affordable, let's get the numbers on the trains. Yes, I know we've got the financial difficulties and so forth. But if you look at the bigger economic impact,
Of course.
it far outweighs the rands and cents we're talking about from operational costs and so forth. And that's a discussion we're trying to have at the level of Treasury with our shareholder who supports this thing greatly, is that let's look at the economic impact of rail. Because once you talk about those numbers, like I say, you're putting 15 billion rand back into the pockets of passengers. You're looking at 11 billion that you're putting back into the fiscus. And when you look at what the operational costs and what we are talking about in terms of getting this funding, it will give some perspective to what those numbers are. So we've got a very aggressive communication campaign where we've launched the services. You have seen the trains are full in the peak period. The off-peak, we've got opportunities. We've told the team we need to be innovative. Even if you were getting the school trips, excursions, get them on the trains, expose the youth to the trains. And we've done quite a bit of that. It's been very positive. And children are so excited when they're on the trains. I'm sure for all of us that's been on the train, a train ride is always a very vivid memory. You always remember it.
Yes.
That's what trains do. You will never forget being on a train. And I think if you start them off young, I think it's one of the key things that we are looking at as well.